Single dad CEO discovers little girl hidden in trash on Christmas Eve, her life-changing secret exposed. Ryan's heart pounded in his chest as he stepped into the clamorous chaos of the city on Christmas Eve. Every rush of joyful laughter and the sight of brightly lit storefronts felt like nails digging into his resolve. With each heavy footfall down the icy sidewalk, memories of sleepless nights hunched over spreadsheets and financial forecasts gnawed at him. As the ambitious CEO of a tech startup, he had sacrificed everything for his dream, yet layoffs loomed like a storm cloud overhead, threatening to extinguish the hope he had for his daughter, Lily. The city pulsed around him, a vibrant swirl of holiday cheer, but beneath it lay an undercurrent of anxiety. Ryan clenched his fists, his mind racing. How could he protect Lily from the harsh reality of their lives? Suddenly, a faint whimper broke through the festive din. It sliced through the joy, drawing him into a shadowy alley edged with graffiti and the stench of discarded refuse. "What the heck?" he whispered, instinctively moving toward the sound. He knelt beside a pile of trash bags, and there, huddled among the scraps, was a little girl, tears streaking her dirty cheeks. Ryan's heart twisted in his chest. "Hey there, sweetheart, what's your name?" "Mia," she stammered, shivering. In that moment, Ryan's paternal instincts burst forth, overriding his anxiety. Regardless of the burdens he carried, he knew he couldn't just leave her there. He gently lifted her into his arms, wrapping her in his coat, vowing silently to protect her just like he protected Lily. Back home, the cozy warmth of the living room embraced them. Ryan's cheeks softened as he introduced Mia to Lily, who was busy setting up a small tree adorned with sparkly ornaments. Their giggles filled the space, and for the first time that night, the heaviness in Ryan's chest began to lighten. As days passed, an unexpected bond formed between the three of them. Mia had a spark in her eyes, an unheard melody that struck a chord deep within Ryan. She had a penchant for computers, and as Ryan explored her world, he unearthed a hidden talent. Mia spoke code like a second language, and for him, she embodied the hope he was desperately seeking. He started mentoring her, fostering her skills, and with every word exchanged, the bond between them deepened. Yet the dark specter of layoffs loomed larger, and Ryan found himself grappling with mounting pressure. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The impending layoffs pushed Ryan into a corner, forcing him to confront a choice he never anticipated. He stood up at a crucial community hearing, emotions surging within him like a roaring tide. When he spoke of Mia, her talent, and how the community could embrace second chances, he felt a hopeful shift in the room. Eyes widened and whispers spread as he shared their story, igniting a spark of possibility. The atmosphere thickened with an electric urgency, challenging perceptions of success and privilege. Was it about wealth, or the impact one person could have on another's life? As he faced the audience, a realization dawned on him. Nothing mattered more than the connections he forged and the hope he ignited. But amidst the uncertainty of the outcome, a question gnawed at his heart: could he save his startup and let Mia soar without sacrificing their new and fragile family? With the crowd hushed, Ryan grasped for resolve, knowing that the stakes had never been higher. Ryan stood before the crowd, his heart racing. He could feel the weight of their eyes, each gaze a mix of curiosity and doubt. He was a corporate man in a world trying to find its humanity again. Would they see him as a father advocating for a child, or a businessman fighting to protect his empire at any cost? He drew in a steady breath, trying to summon the strength he needed. "It's easy to overlook someone, especially when they're hidden in the shadows," he began, his voice steady but raw. "But I found Mia in a trash heap, a girl with a talent that could illuminate the darkest corners of our world. She was abandoned, but that didn't stop her from shining." The murmurs in the room quieted. He could feel a palpable shift, like the tide turning. His words struck a chord, and he pressed on. Mia reflects the struggles many face, the ones who are often forgotten. If we can uplift one person, how much brighter can our community be? Faces began to soften. Hope flickered in their expressions, and he felt encouraged. He spoke about the importance of giving everyone a second chance, especially during the holidays, a time meant for family and connection. It's not just about business, it's about human connection. It's about finding hope in the most unexpected places. As he wrapped up, his emotions spilled over the fight to save Mia's future, intertwining with his desperation to secure Lily's well-being. I'm not asking for a handout. I'm asking for a chance to invest not only in a business but in our community's future. If we can put our fears aside, we can build something remarkable together. The room erupted into a chorus of applause which felt like a reprieve. Ryan's heart swelled. He could see affirmation in the eyes of the crowd as people leaned in, as if his plea had left a mark. But beneath that moment of triumph, doubt lingered. What if he succeeded in this battle but failed to save the company? Could he give his daughters a memorable life built on love rather than just fleeting success? The unease gnawed at him again. The next few weeks would be crucial. As the council deliberated on their decision, Ryan shifted responsibilities at work. He watched Mia and Lily bond, laughter resonating off the walls like a symphony of hope. Mia had become part of their family, her brilliance blending effortlessly with Lily's innocence. One cold morning, as the frost hung like crystal from the windowsills, Mia approached Ryan while he was working at the kitchen table. "Mr. Ryan," she said, her voice uncertain but determined, "I've been thinking, what if we build a project together? Something that shows everyone the power of second chances?" His chest tightened with emotion. "What do you have in mind?" Mia hesitated but then launched into her idea, eyes sparkling with renewed vigor. "What if we create a website where people can share their stories like ours and how they overcame tough situations? There might be others out there who feel lost. We could showcase their talents." Ryan's heart swelled with pride. "That's brilliant, Mia. Let us make it happen." They spent hours discussing features and designs. In that shared excitement, Ryan felt a flicker of old joy returning. This wasn't just about Mia's talent, it was a vision to impact many. Yet, as they worked side by side, doubts crept back again like shadows. As hopeful as this venture seemed, what if the layoffs came through and shattered everything? The uncertainty loomed as they approached the critical moment, when the council's decision was to be announced. Ryan could not shake the question that haunted him. Could he truly balance his dreams for both his daughters without losing everything he loved? As he watched the girls laugh together, a chilling reminder echoed: time was ticking, and their fragile journey was on the brink of a defining moment. Would he be able to hold on to this newfound family amidst the chaos? The wait was agonizing. Days stretched into a blur as Ryan tried to keep his mind occupied. He dove into work, putting on a brave face for his employees, but inside, his thoughts danced around the impending decision. The council meeting loomed ahead like a storm cloud, promising to either bring much-needed rain or a destructive downpour. Mia and Lily, now inseparable, continued to fill their home with laughter. It was a welcome distraction, yet it only deepened Ryan's anxiety. Watching them have fun, he thought of the world outside their cozy bubble, one that wasn't yet fully embracing the changes he hoped to champion. Could he truly harness this momentum into something sustainable? One night, as the sky deepened to navy blue, Ryan huddled on the couch with a cup of coffee, snippets of Lily's giggles floating through the air as she and Mia played in the next room. With each burst of laughter, hope danced in his chest. But beneath that, a weighty fear settled in. What if his efforts to help Mia and others like her could not shield his family from the inevitable fallout of his decisions? A knock interrupted his thoughts. It was Mia. She peeked around the corner, her face flushed with excitement. "Mr. Ryan, look!" In her hands was a rough draft of the website they'd discussed. Ryan's heart thumped as he walked over to her, eyes scanning the paper. The layout was simple yet vibrant, with sketches of smiling faces and boxes of text that showcased snippets of bravery and resilience from real people. "This is incredible!" he exclaimed, genuinely thrilled. "I want to start getting stories," Mia said, her eyes sparkling. I've talked to some friends, and they'd love to share what they've gone through. We can post their stories and show others they're not alone. He couldn't believe the maturity and passion radiating from this young girl. You're going to change lives with this project, he said. Yet deep inside, fear whispered again, would they have time to make it a reality? Days turned into a week, and Ryan felt the tension crackle in the atmosphere. The council was supposed to announce its decision soon. As the deadline approached, a message pinged on his phone, a reminder for the meeting. It felt surreal to think they had fought so hard, but still, the outcome was uncertain. The day of the council meeting arrived. Gathering Lily and Mia, they made their way to the venue, the air thick with expectation. Ryan held Mia's hand tightly, feeling the sweat forming on his palms. No matter what happens, he said softly, we did something amazing together. You should be proud. Mia nodded, but there was a hint of worry etched across her face. What if they don't understand? Then we'll show them, Ryan replied, though his own heart echoed with uncertainty. The council room was filled with members in crisp suits and formal expressions, the weight of their gazes heavy on him as he walked to the front with the girls by his side. Thank you for being here, Ryan began, but just as he felt the stirrings of determination rising, the door creaked open. A hush enveloped the room. In walked Counselor Adams, a feared figure in their circles, famed for his no-nonsense demeanor. Ryan's stomach dropped. It was always possible that Adams could swoop in and shift the tides against them. What would happen if he dismissed all their efforts? The stakes had never felt higher. He just wanted to secure a future for his daughters while giving someone like Mia a fighting chance. As the council took its seats and commenced their deliberation, Ryan couldn't shake the feeling that the moment for life-changing decisions hovered just out of reach. Could he hold everything together long enough for them to see the truth he believed in so fiercely? With the outcome hanging in the balance, anxiety twisted in his heart. Every second felt like a universe of possibilities. Something had to give, and he held his breath, waiting for the verdict that could either unravel everything or set them on a brighter path. Would their fragile dreams survive the council's verdict, or was a storm about to break? The air felt thick with silence as all eyes turned to Counselor Adams. He built a reputation for being a hardliner, not easily swayed by emotional appeals. Ryan could sense Mia's small hand quivering in his grip, and he tightened his fingers around hers, sending her a reassuring smile. For a moment, he lost himself in those innocent eyes, remembering her fierce determination to help others. Good afternoon, Adam's voice cut through the tense atmosphere, steady and commanding. We're here to discuss the proposed community project aimed at providing support for those in need. He scanned the room, and Ryan's breath hitched in his throat. The way Adams focused on him felt like a spotlight in a darkened theater. It's heartwarming, Adams continued, to see community involvement. However, the pause felt like a weight pressing down on Ryan's chest. However? Mia whispered, her voice barely a breath. Lily had her tiny fingers on Mia's shoulder, offering unspoken strength. Adams shifted in his seat, a calculated move that spoke volumes. However, there are concerns about funding allocation and project management. I need to know, is this sustainable? Can it endure the trials that community initiatives often face? Ryan felt an array of emotions surge within him: anger, fear, determination. He had prepared for this. With all due respect, Counselor, he spoke, his voice steady despite the storm brewing inside, this isn't just a project. It's a lifeline. We have personal stories, testimonies from individuals who need this support. It's about real people. Just like Mia. Ryan motioned to Mia, who released his hand and stepped forward, buoyed by his faith in her. When I was scared and alone, it was hard to feel like I belong. But now I have friends, real friends like Lily. What we want is to give others a chance to feel cared for. The girl's eyes sparkled with earnestness, her small stature bursting with courage. Ryan watched as Adam's expression softened, even if just a notch. Could it be working? I commend your enthusiasm, Mia, Adams said, his tone changing slightly. But can enthusiasm alone carry the weight of bureaucracy? A murmur rippled through the crowd. Ryan sensed that the tide might be shifting. Voices from the back began to stir, eager for change. "We need this for our community," someone shouted. "We stand behind you." The noise escalated into a rallying cry. Ryan's heart raced, and he seized the moment. Exactly. This is not just Mia's voice. It's every voice that has been silenced or ignored. Our community is ready to stand together. Adams raised a hand for quiet. "You're stirring emotions well, Mr. Ryan, but emotions aren't enough. We need to see a plan, a clear direction. If you can address these concerns, perhaps we can reconsider." Ryan felt another knot tighten in his stomach. "We will get that plan. But we can't delay. People need us now, not tomorrow." The counselors exchanged glances, some nodding slowly while others remained stoic. This was the last push he needed. Before he could take a breath, Adams leaned forward. "You have 1 week to provide a comprehensive proposal. Miss this deadline, and we walk away. No exceptions." Tension crackled through the room. A week. It felt as if time had turned to water slipping right through his fingers. Ryan turned to Mia and Lily, who both wore expressions of apprehension mixed with hope. "We can do this," he declared, more to himself than to them. The future seemed precarious, but perhaps there was a glimmer of possibility. As they made their way out of the council chambers, Ryan felt a renewed fire igniting within him. They had a chance, an opportunity to fight for those hidden in the shadows. But would he be able to deliver? The weight of his promise hung heavy in the air. "Mr. Ryan," Mia said as they exited, her gaze steady. "What's the plan?" Ryan glanced back at the council doors closing behind them, his heart pounding. "We find a way," he said, determination ringing in his voice. "We'll gather stories, rally support. We're not just building a project, we're creating a movement." But deep down, he feared that the storm was still brewing. What if the weight of it all became too heavy to bear? The urge to let go of the unknown tugged at him. Could they really create the change they all so desperately needed? The following morning, Ryan woke up earlier than usual. The sun was just beginning to rise, painting the kitchen in soft hues of orange and gold. He brewed coffee, the aroma filling the small space, a stark contrast to the fluttering concerns of the previous day. He had a week, and it was now or never. Mia and Lily joined him soon after, their bright smiles momentarily chasing away the weight on his shoulders. "What's the plan, Ryan?" Mia asked again, eyes wide with anticipation. Ryan looked at them both, their youthful enthusiasm bubbling like a fountain. "First, we need stories. Authentic stories," he replied, leaning against the counter. "Let us gather testimonies from those who have faced challenges. We'll create a document that shows the impact we can make." Lily nodded, her brows furrowing in thought. "We can use social media. People love sharing heartfelt stories," she suggested, bouncing on her toes. Ryan felt a flicker of pride for their initiative. They were already thinking bigger. "Great idea! Let us start a campaign. We need to reach out beyond our community," Ryan encouraged, jotting down notes. As ideas flowed, so did memories of all the people he had met, the single parents, the struggling students, the elderly who felt abandoned. Each face fueled his determination. Later that afternoon, they gathered around the battered table in Ryan's living room, surrounded by notepads and colored markers. They began brainstorming, laughter replacing tension as they crafted a vision statement, a declaration of hope. Ryan watched their faces light up with each new idea, each new drawing. They were building something bigger than a project. It was a tapestry of their community woven together with stories of resilience. As the days passed, they spoke to families, friends, neighbors. Mia shared her own experience, making each story tangible, each moment of struggle a thread that wove into their larger narrative. Everyone they spoke to had a unique tale, and soon their campaign evolved into more than testimonials. It became a collective call for empathy, urging others to join in the rally. In moments of quiet reflection, Ryan felt the weight lift, but the specter of doubt still loomed. Would it be enough? The question haunted him, nudging him awake at odd hours. Each night, he revisited the council meeting, each word echoing in his mind as he plotted every move. "Ryan, look!" Mia exclaimed one afternoon as she scrolled through her phone. They had started a social media page, and it was quickly gaining traction. Messages of support poured in like raindrops, each one a reminder of why they were fighting. "We're trending!" Lily cheered, her enthusiasm infectious. Ryan felt a swell of excitement mixed with relief. Maybe they could do this. The week flew by in a blur of meetings, planning sessions, and sleepless nights. The three of them bonded tighter, overcoming obstacles that felt insurmountable just days ago. They had transformed their frightful deadline into a binding promise. Finally, Friday arrived. Ryan stood at the kitchen table, looking down at their proposal. He felt the weight of every story they had gathered resting on his shoulders. They had crafted something so powerful, so full of heart. As he prepared to hit send, a knock sounded at the door. Curiosity replaced trepidation as he opened it to find a group of neighbors' faces he recognized, but didn't he know well, holding a banner that read, "Together we are stronger." "Ryan, we're here to help!" one of them shouted, raising a fist in solidarity. Emotion surged within him, tears pricking at the corners of his eyes. This was what change looked like. This was the movement they had dreamed of. But then, in the midst of the unexpected support, a chilling sense of urgency resurfaced. Time slipped away. Adrenaline coursed through him. The moment had arrived. "Let us go!" he shouted, rallying his newfound allies. "We have a presentation to make." With a rush of determination, they gathered their materials, and together they raced toward the council chambers once again. The cacophony of his own heartbeat drowned out any lingering doubts. The weight of their mission felt lighter, wrapped in the collective support of their community. Would this all be enough? The council chambers loomed ahead, a building that felt both daunting and inviting, like a chrysalis awaiting transformation. Ryan charged forward with Mia and Lily by his side, the banner-wielding neighbors fluttering behind them like a spirited army ready for battle. Each step pulsed with purpose, the excitement mingling with a hint of fear that shimmered in the air like electricity. Inside, the soft murmur of voices buzzed while chairs creaked under the weight of individuals eager for change. But even amidst that collective energy, the stakes felt personal for Ryan. He glanced at Mia, whose eyes sparkled with a mix of nervousness and hope, and then at Lily, who was bouncing slightly on her feet, her enthusiasm uncontainable. As they found their spots at the front, Ryan's heart raced. He could sense the energy shifting in the room, anticipation climbing to a peak. The mayor grinned from the stage, ready to introduce the community's new proposal that Ryan had poured his heart into. "Today, we witnessed the power of unity," she declared, and Ryan felt a surge of pride swell within him. They took turns sharing stories. Ryan spoke first, recounting the resilience he had seen while gathering testimony, stories of families in need, single parents juggling multiple jobs, children overcoming significant hurdles. His voice trembled at times, but in that shaky delivery was a fervor that was hard to ignore. "Every face we've met, every struggle we've uncovered, is a reminder that we're not alone," he said, glancing around the room, searching for connection. "Together, we can cultivate hope and provide the support our community needs." Mia and Lily followed, their voices ringing clear and strong. They wove their experiences into the presentation, layered with emotion and passion. As they spoke, a shared understanding began to ignite in the faces of their neighbors, encouraging smiles, nodding heads, tears of recognition. But as passion swirled in the air, an unexpected voice interrupted. "What about those who don't fit the narrative? The ones without a story to tell?" A woman in the back stood, her brow furrowed with skepticism that cut through the warmth in the room like a chill wind. Ryan swallowed hard, feeling his confidence wobble. "Every person has a story," he started, but doubt crept in. What if she was right? What if they had overlooked someone? "That's the challenge, isn't it?" she continued. "What if there are voices in this community we're not hearing?" Ryan's mind raced. He had focused on those he knew, the stories he had gathered. But what about the quiet ones? The neighbors too shy to speak out? Silence fell heavy in the chamber. It was an emotional crossroads. As Ryan looked around at the faces, the weight of his mission pressed on him anew. He couldn't let doubt derail the momentum they had created, not now. "Thank you for your honesty," Ryan said slowly, gathering the strength to respond. "You're right. This is just the beginning. We need all voices, especially those that remain unheard. It's a community effort." A small murmur rippled through the crowd, some nodding in acknowledgement. He could feel the resolve build again, like a flame sparking to life once more. The presentation continued, surfacing raw emotions and stirring a sense of collective responsibility among attendees. By the time they wrapped up, applause thundered through the chamber, echoing hope and courage. Yet Ryan's heart still raced. He sensed the impending vote looming ahead, the weight of their proposal clinging to the air like a last deep breath before the plunge. "Let us keep the conversation going," he urged as people began to leave, his mind fixed on the woman's words. "Let us not just report the stories we know, but seek out the ones we don't." As the room cleared, a new wave of understanding washed over him. The journey wasn't just about promoting their project. It was about creating a community that embraced every story, every heartbeat. The weight felt heavier than ever, but with it came a flicker of excitement. The real question now lingered: would the council see the value in embarking on this journey with them? Ryan knew they were just getting started. The vote was set for next Tuesday, leaving Ryan with restless energy that he could hardly contain. As he walked home, the city glowed with holiday lights, each bulb a small reminder of the warmth he hoped to bring to the community. Yet the woman's words echoed in his mind. What about the voices unheard? Mia and Lily flanked him, their chatter intermittent with the sounds of festive celebration all around them. They passed shops full of cheerful displays, families emerging with giggles and bright packages. But it all felt a little hollow to Ryan. He wished for a magic solution, something to guarantee they'd reach everyone. "You did good today," Mia said, nudging him softly. "You stood up there with a lot of heart." "Yeah. And the way you spoke about everything, Ryan, it felt real," Lily chimed in, her eyes wide with admiration. He smiled at them, grateful for their support, but it didn't feel quite like enough. "Thanks, but there's still so much work to do. I can't shake the feeling that we haven't reached everyone." Mia's expression turned serious. "What are you thinking? What if we set up like a listening booth? Somewhere people can come and share their thoughts or experiences, even if they don't feel comfortable speaking out in public?" Lily wrinkled her nose. "Like a secret clubhouse for stories?" "Yeah, sorta like that. A space where voices can be heard, especially from those who might feel lost or forgotten." As they walked, Ryan's mind raced, piecing together different ideas. He envisioned colorful banners and little cozy chairs set in a corner of the local park, hot cocoa steaming in cups, inviting everyone to sit, share, and connect. He could feel the excitement bubbling up again. The next few days passed in a blur of planning, and before he knew it, Friday arrived, time for the Community Voices listening booth. He and the girls set up their makeshift space, arranging chairs in a circle and placing a table with steaming mugs of hot cocoa in the center. They hung bright streamers around the booth, infusing the area with energy, trying to lure in anyone who walked by. As the first few visitors trickled in, Ryan felt that same pulse of nervousness he had in the council chambers. Would anyone show up? Would people feel welcomed enough to share? By midday, a steady stream of community members came through, some hesitant at first, but eventually loosening up as they sipped their cocoa. Ryan listened attentively, taking notes, cherishing the small victories of people sharing their stories. An elderly man spoke of his wife's struggle with illness, while a single mother opened up about feeling isolated. Each story added a thread in the tapestry of their collective experience. But then, just as the sun began to dip low, a young girl entered the booth. Her big brown eyes surveyed the setup with a mix of curiosity and concern. She hesitated, gripping the strap of her backpack tightly. Ryan knelt down to her level, warmth radiating from his smile. "Hey there! What's your name?" he asked gently. It's Sophia," she whispered, glancing back as if she expected someone to pull her away. "Nice to meet you, Sophia. Would you like to share something?" Silence wrapped around them, thickening the air. The girl's expression flickered, like a candle fighting against the wind. I have a story, she finally admitted, her voice trembling slightly. Ryan held his breath, fully attuned now. Here was a voice he hadn't expected, a story waiting to bloom. But then, she turned abruptly, eyes wide with anxiety as she glanced toward the exit. What if they don't want to hear me? At that moment, a spark of determination ignited within him. They will, Ryan assured her, leaning in. Every story matters, Sophia. No matter what it is or how small you think it might be, it deserves to be heard. And just like that, as the world outside continued bustling with holiday cheer, he realized they were on the verge of something big. Would Sophia find the courage to share her story? What would it reveal about the lives hidden in the shadows? Ryan's heart raced with anticipation, knowing everything was about to shift again. The moment hung in the air, full of unspoken words. Ryan could see fear flickering in Sophia's eyes like the flickering holiday lights around them. He felt an instinctual urge to protect her, to encourage her even more. Hey, how about I tell you a little story of my own first? He suggested, his voice soft and inviting. When I was younger, I was really shy too. I would hold back at every chance to speak up. But then, one day, I shared something that changed everything for me. It felt like the weight of the world had been lifted off my shoulders. Sophia's brows furrowed, her grip on her backpack easing just a little. Really? What happened? Ryan smiled, heart feeling lighter for a moment. I told my class about my family and the struggles we faced. I was scared they wouldn't understand, but you know what? They listened. They really listened. And it made me realize how important it is for everyone to share their stories. It connects us. Sophia's big eyes were now fixed on him, curiosity replacing doubt. Did it help? It did, he replied earnestly. It helped me feel like I belong. Just like you and all these people here. He gestured towards those sitting nearby, sharing laughter and stories over their cups of hot cocoa. After a thoughtful pause, Sophia finally took a deep breath. Okay, I think I can try. Ryan's heart swelled with pride. That's all any of us can do. As she stepped forward, he felt the atmosphere change around them, charged with excitement and anticipation. She found a seat, her hands still fidgeting with the edges of her backpack. Ryan motioned for Mia and Lily to join him, forming a small supportive circle around the young girl, ensuring she felt safe. Whenever you're ready, Sophia, Ryan encouraged gently, nodding toward her. The air was still. Sophia looked around, taking in the kind faces watching her with encouragement. So I wrote a story, she finally said, voice barely above a whisper. About a girl who helps her family even when times are hard. Suddenly, Ryan felt a wave of emotion hit him. Here was a child, a tiny voice filled with such depth, ready to share her heart. He nodded, urging her to continue. She finds a way to bring hope when everything feels lost, Sophia pressed on, her confidence growing with each word. She believes that even the smallest things can make a big difference, like a hug or a smile. At that moment, Ryan's breath caught. The simplicity of her words rang true. They were a call to action for everyone, especially him. I love that, Mia said with sparkles in her eyes. That's such a beautiful message. Sophia glanced up, surprised by their reactions. You really think so? Absolutely, Lily chimed in, you're incredible. The mood shifted, and Ryan felt an overwhelming joy wash over him. He was watching transformation unfold right before his eyes. Sophia was no longer just a scared girl in a booth, she was a beacon of hope. And you know what? He added, feeling the excitement bubbling again. This idea you have, telling stories about hope, is exactly what our community needs right now. Imagine if we could gather stories just like yours, from everyone who has a voice to share? A nervous smile crept on Sophia's face. You think people would want to hear more? Before Ryan could answer, the unmistakable sound of laughter rang in from outside. The festive atmosphere began to creep back in as the sun settled beneath the horizon, casting warm colors across the park. He exchanged glances with Mia and Lily. They all sensed that the community was coming alive. It was time for more stories. Time to create a chorus of voices that couldn't be ignored. Definitely, Ryan nodded, his heart racing with possibility. And I want you to help us do it. Sophia blinked, surprise dawning on her face. Me? Really? Yes. You've got a powerful voice, Sophia. Let us make this happen together. As night fell and the stars blinked overhead, Ryan felt the surrounding warmth of community and connection. They were on the cusp of something beautiful. What stories would emerge next? And how would they shape the community's path forward? Ryan couldn't help but wonder, anticipating the unexpected changes that awaited them all. As the evening deepened, a gentle breeze rustled through the trees, and the twinkling lights around the park seemed to pulse with life. Ryan felt a current of energy weaving through the air, mingling with the comfort of hot cocoa warming his hands. Watching Sophia, he sensed something remarkable was unfolding. What do you say we start a storytelling circle? Mia suggested enthusiastically, eager to keep the momentum alive. We can share our own stories, moments where we found hope, or something that lifted us up. Sophia's face lit up. Really? All of us? Absolutely. Lily replied, her excitement infectious. You started it, Sophia, and now it's our turn. Ryan felt a warmth swell in his chest. They were taking an important step together, a step that might change everything. How about I go first to break the ice? He offered, catching Sophia's eye. I'll share a story from my childhood. Sophia nodded, her nervousness easing. He took a sip of cocoa, gathering his thoughts, and then began. When I was about your age, I had a dog named Max. He was my best friend. One day I lost him. I searched everywhere. I felt so sad and alone. Ryan's voice quivered slightly. The memory still struck a chord. But guess what? My neighbors heard me calling for him, and they helped look for him too. It felt amazing to realize that so many people cared, that I wasn't alone in my search. A connected hum of understanding rippled through the circle. Mia and Lily watched him with attentive eyes, each recalling their own moments of connection and shared struggles. Eventually, we found Max hiding under someone's porch. When I finally held him again, it was like all the fears melted away. It showed me how important it is to have a community around you, especially during tough times. Sophia smiled widely. That is beautiful, Ryan. Moving with the energy of the moment, Lily chimed in, I think I'll go next. She leaned forward, her eyes sparkling. Last summer, I volunteered at a children's camp. I met so many kids with stories. One little girl opened up about her struggles with her family. At first, she was quiet, just like you, Sophia. But when she finally spoke up, it changed everyone. That must have felt amazing, Sophia said, looking inspired. It really was, Lily said, glowing with the recount. Sharing our hardships brought us closer, and she ended up finding her courage to lead a group project. I'll never forget how proud she was standing in front of everyone. Mia followed with her own story, and one by one, they shared moments of vulnerability, struggle, and ultimately, hope. Each tale revealed threads of connection that deepened the bond they were weaving together. Ryan looked at Sophia and saw her absorbing every word, every shared experience building something inside her. Now it's your turn, Sophia, he encouraged gently. Sophia's expression shifted from enthusiasm to hesitation, and Ryan felt a wave of empathy wash over him. Just remember, he added softly, whatever you share will touch someone here. You're not alone. Sophia took a deep breath. Okay. I can do this. As she began to speak, the world around them faded into a blur. The park, the laughter, and the warm cocoa faded as Sophia's voice filled the air. It was timid at first, but her courage blossomed with every sentence. Once, I thought I couldn't do anything special, but I learned that kindness is the greatest superpower. Even a smile can change someone's day. Her innocent yet profound reflections captured the essence of hope. Ryan felt tears prick at the corners of his eyes, overwhelmed with pride and admiration. But then, as whispers of applause filled the air, A loud crash echoed from the direction of the park's playground, slicing through the atmosphere like a knife. Ryan's heart raced. He turned to look, sensing something was amiss. What could have happened? The laughter flickered out, replaced by tension. With concern etched on his face, Ryan bolted from his seat, heart pounding. What was unfolding just beyond their circle of warmth? And how would it impact the heartfelt moment they had just created? The shrill sound of metal hitting concrete ricocheted through the air, piercing the joy they had built like a sudden thunderstorm on a sunny day. Ryan dashed toward the noise, his heart pounding with both fear and protectiveness. He found a group of children huddled, gasping, around a fallen swing. What happened? He called out, urgency spilling from his voice. Sophia, Mia, and Lily hurried behind him, their expressions shifting quickly from wonder to concern. It's Jaden! He fell. One of the boys shouted, pointing to the ground where Jaden lay, crumpled and silent, his small body still. Panic clawed at Ryan's chest as he pushed through the crowd, kneeling beside the boy. Jaden! Ryan reached for him, heart racing. A soft whimper escaped from the gathered children, and he could feel the weight of all their gazes. This wasn't just a childhood. This was their community, tightly knit by shared stories and now unified in fear. Stay back, everyone, Ryan called. He gently checked for responsive movements, heart in his throat. Jaden, can you hear me? No answer. Ryan squeezed the boy's shoulder gently. We need help. Someone call 911. Sweat beaded on Ryan's forehead as he looked around at the frightened faces. They needed to breathe, to focus. Mia, can you help me? He said, barely glancing up. Mia nodded, her instincts kicking in as she moved to encourage the others. Everyone, let us create space, she shouted. We need to make room for the ambulance. She began directing kids and parents away from the scene, her voice steady with the urgency of the moment. Ryan's fingers brushed Jaden's arm, trying to analyze the situation as fear surged through him. Just hold on, buddy. Help is on the way. The minutes felt like hours, seconds dragging as he waited, willing the boy to wake. A siren pierced the air from far away, inching closer with every agonizing moment. Jaden, stay with me, Ryan urged again, urgency saturating his voice. You've got this. Just hang on, okay? You're so strong. Just hold on. An overwhelming wave of empathy washed over him as he thought of Sophia, Lily, the bonds they had forged in such a short time. Life was fragile and unpredictable. Finally, sirens blared loudly as an ambulance pulled up. Relief washed over Ryan, but worry still knotted his stomach. A team of medics sprang into action, pushing through the crowd like a tidal wave against an ominous shore. They assessed Jaden, their expertise commanding the frantic energy in the air. Seeing them take control, Ryan took a step back but kept eye contact with Jaden, urging the boy's spirit to fight. Stay strong, Jaden, Sophia whispered, kneeling beside Ryan. Tears glimmered in her eyes, trembling with empathy. Just as she echoed every heart's concern, a wave of solidarity swept through the onlookers. They were all connected now, witnesses in a moment that reminded them of the fragility of life. Jaden stirred, just a little. Dad, he whispered hoarsely. The medics immediately responded, shifting their focus toward ensuring he stabilized. Among the onlookers, Ryan noted a wave of emotion flowing through the crowd as shared hope, a community core bound by humanity. And amidst the turmoil, he thought of everything they had built together, every voice lifted, every story shared. It's going to be okay, Jaden, Ryan repeated, watching the boy's chest rise and fall. You've got so much to live for. As the medics carefully strapped Jaden onto a stretcher, a gentle calm began to settle. It was a reminder, a confirmation of why they were doing what they were doing. The stories they shared, the voices they empowered, were all part of something bigger, a community that now supported each other with strength and vulnerability. Once Jaden was loaded into the ambulance, Ryan stood up as the crowd began to disperse, still holding on to the energy of connection that lingered in the air. They had come together in joy, then fear, and in that moment, they proved they could weather the storms. Mia, Sophia, and Lily gathered at his side, expression serious. Do you think he'll be okay? Sophia asked, her voice small and trembling. I hope so, Ryan said, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. In that moment, he felt the entire community standing behind him once again. He was strong, and he knows he has a support network. That's important. He looked down at Sophia, who still bore a hint of worry. That's what this is all about, right? He continued gently. Supporting one another, sharing our stories. Even when things get tough, we stick together. Sophia nodded slowly, determination sparking back in her eyes. We can start again tomorrow, in that booth. Showing others their herd matters. Together, we're stronger. Ryan smiled, gratitude swelling in his heart. Exactly. He turned to look around the park, now emptying as the sun dipped lower behind the horizon, casting a dusky glow around them. It was, after all, a reflection of real-life ebbs and flows, joy and sadness, resilience during challenges. In that shared realization radiating from all of them, Ryan felt the pulse of the community steadily beating in tandem. Let us keep sharing our stories. They're powerful. Can I tell mine next? Sophia asked, bravery visibly filling her small frame. Ryan chuckled. I'd say you're definitely our next storyteller. As they wandered home together, laughter creeping back into the kind atmosphere, Ryan took a deep breath. They were creating a network, building a legacy of understanding and compassion one story at a time. Call to action. You need to subscribe right now to our channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like to feed the algorithm and help us grow. Comment your reactions and feelings about this ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Only true fans understand the impact of supporting the channel through these actions. Show your support now.